shouldn't be recording this. So, for anyone wondering what that mysterious intro is, this is sort of a downside of what I called maybe earlier the Roy Wood creative process, which is there's a certain number of episodes that I should record in a single sitting. And then once we get beyond that, I find a couple of problems. There's a couple of practical problems, which is that sooner or later my voice will just give out. There will be too many sort of random stops and coughs and other vocal problems caused by overactive vocal cords and too much narration, too many diversions down silly routes. You know, sort of like if you take a car down too many broken up tracks, eventually the suspension gives out. That's basically what happens to my voice after too many episodes. But also the other downside of the Roy Wood creative process is it's kind of a natural arc that I guess of episodes, which is we start off with very sort of a sensible, earnest one. You know, sort of set the scene where we do something logical and normal. Let's just sort these timetables, put a bit of slack time into them. And yes, we do something sensible and normal to start out, and then there's one which gets a little bit fuzzy around the edges, a little bit of a sort of, you know, diversion. There's one that's out and out, just like the yes ends up musing on the suitability of Bob Dylan for babies, which I still maintain is an excellent idea. And then if we go beyond that, we start to get into uncharted territory. This, by the way, as we watch Train 307. Train 307 is not grouped, is it? So this should be the Bradford cross map group, I think. Let's do that. So that's the Bradford cross map. Ooh, we do one. No, we already have enough. This is a problem, actually. People ask me to add lots of electric multiple units. And like, I can't tell them apart. I don't know what's going on. Because, yes, so there tends to be a problem that we tend to sort of start to get into the sort of sillier accents and more ridiculous things. And while I'd love to blame the sort of, you know, the beverage that I usually have, yes, usually there's not, you know, this isn't sort of whiskey bottle retiring to hotel room and writing I can hear the grass grow in the manner of the Roy Wood creative process. It's quite often genuinely just a glass of squash or a cup of tea, or maybe sort of a single measure of something from the drinks cabinet. It's not a problem of imbibing the wrong substances, which we would get into trouble for mentioning, but it is one of mental focus and generally where one's mind sort of ends up going. Or let's say one's mind. Let's say my mind ends up going after long enough recording, which is just to not so sensible places. You know, the creative process. That's how you end up. Basically, well, as I say, it's the Roy Wood creative process. How you end up writing a song called "I Can Hear the Grass Grow," which obviously maybe not the most sensible proposition. I mean, just the sort of general. I imagine you'd have to go out to the middle of nowhere to be able to hear it, because otherwise you'd hear sort of motorcycles revving or other unpleasant hornet-like sounds and a general sort of, you know, neighbourhood clonking and so on. So you'd go to the middle of nowhere, but also not proper rural nowhere, because rural places will have sheep, and sheep make awful noises. Sheep tend to go up. They don't bother. They basically go up is the noise of sheep. And so you'd have to go out in the middle of nowhere. Your grass would probably have to be indoors in an anechoic chamber, because otherwise there'll just be wind and there'll probably be aircraft passing overhead. So Roy Wood has basically grown grass in his anechoic chamber, and now he's listening to it to hear it grow, and probably he's going to be able to hear his own sort of bodily functions, whatever. This is actually a problem apparently of anechoic chambers. This is a problem of, oh, well, we're glad we followed that. Look at that sneak off back, because no, this is it's not that there's no power, it's that there's a signal in the way. So let's just reverse the signal. Let us go and fix that. But yes, probably a big problem if you go into one of the anechoic chambers, which, if you don't know what I mean by anechoic chamber, it's one of those, it's a big sort of room that is very, very well soundproofed, and that is very, very well echo-proofed. So it's basically a room in which there is no noise. And what you don't realise from day to day is there's lots of noise daily sort of surrounding you. You know, even if you're not living in an urban environment, or you don't have a lot of sheep kind of going up, and the cockerels making cockerelly noises, and cows doing this sort of cowy thing, and they do in the countryside. Even if you don't have that all around you, there's still quite a lot of background. You know, wind and leaves rustling and whatever else. But your body makes sound, and it's very low, but it's sort of very quiet, quite, you know, built by a silencing enthusiast, the kind of people who build very sort of over-the-top computers that make no noise. But it does have a sort of maybe 18, maybe 19 decibels or something sound floor. And if you get into a quiet enough room, you start to be able to hear your body, you start to hear sort of, you know, blood rushing about through places. Warships getting old. Yes, I suppose they might be. I'd probably correct this. And so, this, and let's go correcting that. Let's see if we can do a wide-scale replacement of warships. Kestrel should be replaced as well. So do we have any... This is going to end up being... This is going to end up being another Class 47, isn't it? It's Class 47-like. $59 stock could probably be... Do we have another new large stock? Not really. So going to leave that alone. The OP stock that can be replaced with D78 stock. I think you wanted to do that a while back. Then... Where's the thing? So the 41s, I can replace those with 455s. We have the 455 here, yes. There we go. Ooh. We can't replace that, so... Let's go fix that, so... And of course, wagon removal is on. Let's remove the wagon removal. We can really fix that with... We'll just go to the OP stock, so... Wagon removal is off. That should fix that. So we're at, so yes, you can hear sort of blood rushing and being pumped around your body and whatever, and sloshing and things happening. And then the occasional baby stomach gurgle if you go to an anechoic chamber. It's supposed to be quite an unpleasant experience, I'm told. So Roy probably wouldn't be enjoying trying to hear the grass grow. He'd probably be just hearing himself. But might have to record it with a microphone and then amplify it. So anyway, let's try to replace the warships. I say, this is why we don't record like this. This is why we don't do the extra episode. But I really wanted to see what happened with the Bradford cross map. So this is where we are. And it's how it's going. So the warship, passenger warship. So I think it's just going to be spoons. So there's a new... We might give this to a body snatchers or something coming along in a bit. But for now. The peaks as well. So yes. So I don't know if those are still available. Just have a look and see if there's anything else that's getting... a little bit old in all our 585 trains. This is actually a problem that I have, is that I just find it very hard to keep track of them at this point. So let's have a look at remaining lifetime. It might be easier if there weren't so many distinct types. But that's a jazz. That's a gurgler. Can we still get gurglers? Is that a problem? Yes, we still get gurglers. Those are just 32 years. That's a depot problem, I think. So let's go fix that. We've ended up really just going around fixing things again, haven't we? This sort of, you know, like so many cartoon characters, fixing things now. Yes, right. So put a depot in there in the hope that some of those get a bit. So as in jazz, I might as well just send them to service. See if that helps. So you send that to servicing. Cause chaos. New Rock, Newcastle and cleaning agency. With these are all complaining, even though gurglers are available. Very odd. Let's get those replaced before they cause problems. Express sprinters. So yes, so let's just send all these for servicing. Is anything else getting old? I don't see anything here getting too old, so the other ones, what were the other ones? Cleaning agency, that was it, so send those for servicing. Now, anything else that's getting a bit old? Well, the Mountain Ridge line we know about. That. Crikey, what's going on here? Wow. Oh, DX goods are so... They've been around for so long, and they're so long-lived, that they're actually still quite happily just sort of trundling along. But I think the time of that has changed, really. So the DX goods, where are we? Well, Fowler 4F's really class 20s, and the same really with the DX goods, I think. There, where are we? I can't find them. Oh, they actually DX goods rather. Those are actually Fowler 4Fs, so those just need replacing, really. And then let's do that with that. So that one is just stopped anyway, so we can get rid of that. Yes, there we go. So that's not too bad. So Brian May's APT is getting a bit old. The teacups now. Can we still buy those? Yes, we can still buy those. So bagpipe delivery just needs to be also. Oh, baby acid. I don't know why that's there. That should be an acid jazz. So there we go. So let's send these for the in for a quick service. Maybe they've only just started getting old. Yes. Yes, so that may not be early enough for them to need replacing it. There we go. No, nice. So right. So you want to go back to the Bradford Cross map because what I... Ooh. That's very, very high tractive effort, very powerful, but we don't have need of a new freight locomotive yet. Still trying to find the use for the last new one that we got, which was the what was it? The Class 59. And so there we go. The Bradford Cross map is taking a little bit of time, but that's probably timetabling issues. So we're going to fix these, won't we? So there we go. Some days. Yeah, there we go. Other random Roywood-related facts. In the 70s, they wrote a song called Angel Fingers, which was a very, from the very 70s. It's certainly lyrically quite interesting. I think it's possibly more down the kind of, like, you know, I love her, she loves me, she lives on the other side of the river, how inconvenient it's sort of, you know, she's in a different area code, so I need to pay more money when I phone her up. That kind of level. It's more down that level than the kind of, you know, our record could be used as an interactive audio tour for a museum, but does have an uncanny resemblance to the Red Dwarf theme, which obviously the closing theme, which obviously came much, much later. I say the closing theme, of course. The closing theme for Red Dwarf has always been the closing theme, right from the start, but later on was made the opening theme as well. When I say later on, I mean Series 3, probably the earliest series most people remember. Let's go looking for things to fix as well. Well, now that... I timetabled this, but I didn't set the auto separation. So let's set that up. And those should hopefully start to separate themselves. That should hopefully start to work. Good, yes, but the... Prior to the third series, which was sort of modern Red Dwarf, because early Red Dwarf was weird. Though no, it's weird by inference on the fact that I actually quite like the first two series. They're sort of very constrained, very... They're kind of, let's build some more trucks like that. And there we go. So, you know, very sort of small scale, very kind of early installment weirdness, but it's a very, very different theme at the start. It didn't have the rock theme, the Roy Wood-like rock theme. It had a very sort of chilling piano theme at the start. So it was It's a weird one because I think I would say it comes with maturity, but I'm not sure I'm the best poster child for maturity of the given, especially where we're at an episode which shouldn't have been recorded, and we're feeling the pain of that. It's mostly been about sheep noises, and gurgling, but I actually when I was a child and watching Red Dwarf as a young un. They prefer the more in your face, the more action oriented later series, sort of series 3 and series 5 particularly. Not so much the earlier series, but as I kind of grew older, I kind of got to appreciate the more detailed character study, the very well constrained and well written side of those. I think those now are probably my favourite series, the very first two. And this again, I think this just I like things when they're still experimenting, they're still trying to find their feet. There's kind of a nice charm in that. Boat of Garten's nice and busy, isn't it? Oh, Boat of Garten has a huge passenger shortfall. Why are we not transporting passengers? We should really be transporting lots more. So it's almost like we're untransporting passengers or something. And because we are transporting a huge amount, but 221 max 530. Oh, okay. Okay, no, we could transport a lot more. And what's going on in Boat of Garten? Why is Boat of Garten so horrific for passengers? Just look at this. I can't zoom in really. It's interesting. It shouldn't be that problematic. We should be able to be transporting a lot more. We didn't know why. No, not transporting so many, because we have good catchment area. Sort of good following. It hasn't done anything tricksy like built a tunnel, has it? No, so. Yes, there's no some passengers lining up and waiting places. We've got, and most of these have coverage, so that's very strange. Kind of why it wants to generate so many passengers and why we transport so few of them. And they don't know. No, Stilltown doesn't have hotels, does it? So let's have a look. So let's see what we've got. So nothing with passengers. No, nothing except passengers. No, that's very weird. Why does the Boat of Garten create so many passengers that we're not transporting? I wonder. Wonder whether our trying to create two routes was foolish or something. But, This is very weird why that happens, but it might be slightly something to do with the. Because these are all trying to get a Boat of Garten stores, aren't they? So it's trying to make Boat of Garten stores a little bit more involved. No suitable road, because it's not an A road. We've been here before. Come on. And so that maybe will help. Yes, I might redirect some of those wagons down there. We really need to be able to get some more of these trucks out of the way. So I wonder if we could do something smart here. There we go, so. Okay, so that might do something useful in terms of taking some of those trucks away. Because we can't really have this huge queue of trucks waiting because it interferes with the buses and causes lots of problems. Like a sheep interfering with Roy Wood's grass hearing operation. No, come on. Let's see if we can clear this junction up. That's cleared things up. A bit of Garten stores is now Now a horrible mess. Way overwrought. It's an overwrought station. Yeah, but at least that clears up those things happening there. So hopefully, you might have a little bit more in the way of... There's still huge passenger shortfall, slowly transporting 156 of them. So I think you might just need another station. And maybe down here. Let's these to go there and then back. And so this again, not really timetabled, so let's let that get down there. Let's see if that lets us get any more passengers. Joy of playing villages is villages. This trying to make sure the passengers all get moved. And, maybe a coverage problem. So Boat of Garten Woods is kind of okay. We can still do Boat of Garten Woods a little bit further in. Actually, let's put this the other side. So there we go. So that's now going to have a little bit more coverage there. And Boat of Garten components just make bigger. So hopefully this will also help a little bit. This shopping centre here, I wouldn't wonder whether that has an issue. And so we could do it then just add a stop there. So between woods. And so it goes to west and it goes to woods, but let's insert transfer in the middle of there. And then transfer in the middle of there. Though I don't know what I'm doing. Well, no worse, I sort of know what I'm doing. In a mechanical level, I know what I'm doing. I'm directing buses to go places, but I didn't really know why things are getting passengers or not getting passengers. And exactly what's going on there. Class 456s. Class 21 9s. So I knew that this town centre is very, very... It's almost overly busy. So let's see how that goes. These buses are clumping slightly, but it's such a short distance it doesn't really matter. Ooh, yes. That's where the passenger generation is. I think you see it now. Yes, so that's the shopping centre. I didn't realise this. Shopping centres, apparently with improved town layouts, must produce huge amounts of passengers. So that's where our shortfall is. And hopefully, when we get to the next month, we will have transported most of them. That bus is waiting there, so... It's sort of nice and full now. So let's see how that goes. I'm still waiting to build the cargo graph. If this wasn't villages, this would be growing so crazily. There's so much delivered to it and so much going on, but obviously villages says, no, you've not transported enough passengers, so no town growth for you. So we'll leave that. But now town growth for us. I think mail may be the next problem. But yes, it's growing. We transferred the passengers, so that's interesting. So that may be a problem in our town that we want to grow, is we have to have a station at the shopping centre. From there, that's a nice little feature. There we go. They've learned something. Maybe what I've learned is that if I record more episodes than I should record, the Clandestine extra episode just because I want to find out what happens to my train, that it ends up full of useless sheep noises, but such is the way. That's how things go. So let's just check on that train anyway. So yes, they're starting to make a bit of profit. In fact, they're making good profit. Let's see what that's done to the link graph. So that's quite a busy line. And that has improved the link graph up here. And the sort of how wood bus is being such a disaster. So we now really only need to think about in fact, not even the aircraft's no problem. Langley Green, yes, Langley Green's an airport, isn't it? So we still have possibly an aircraft issue. What aircraft are we using these days? We are using 747. No, not so much. Let's have a look at Yes, in fact, this is all starting to sort itself out. That line was a good idea, wasn't it? There we go. So it's getting a little busier, but I think that's partly that these fees need to even out their timetables and things like that. But there we go. Success. As long as we totally ignore the episode content, but let's just do that. Let's pretend you didn't hear any of what you just heard. That's a problem. It shouldn't be like that. So there we go. Anyway, pretend you didn't hear any of what you just heard. Silence the commentary. And this was a good, productive episode. I shall see you in a future one.